Almost 1 year ago, I started building my second ever theme park in Planet Coaster 2 called Discovery Studios, where the idea was to have this studio-esque entrance and inside a central hub where you would be transported to real worlds based on real life things such as Formula 1, Wallace and Gromit, Defqon 1, Pokemon and PlayStation games, and all of these would be within a single theme park. And having built many different roller coasters, attractions, dark rides, having themed them all up as best I can, the park is now finished and I have finally completed Discovery Studios. So today, after the entire 25 episode long series, we're going to be going around the park to check out every single individual area, riding a few rides in between, and having a huge finale which will feature fireworks, lasers, fire, drones, and more. So make sure you watch till the end and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, because more Planet Coaster 2 content is coming up very soon, including a brand new theme park I'm making, but more on that later. And sorry to interrupt, I very recently announced that I will be riding Rita at Alton Towers 100 times in a row in aid of the Alzheimer's Society, and every milestone we hit with donations, more laps will be added. So go and donate to the Just Giving page and check out rita100.com down below. And here we are then in the main plaza before entering Discovery Studios. Of course, we have the security scanners over there. We're not going to go through there just yet because I want to reminisce about over here. I think this was one of the first signs I ever put in. As you can see, we were going very realistic with this one, where we've got like the bus stops there, and of course you've got like the shelters for the bus stops, and even a train station, which I decked out fully inside with each platform. As you can see, platform 1 calling at Isle of Discovery Train Station 2024, and over here, oh, and we really went for that sort of, you know, realistic theme park that you'd have transportation hubs outside and everything, and I really like that approach, and I do think it worked out really well. You got the car parks over there as we walk over to those security scanners now to enter into the park. And here we go. Am I going to beep? What was it now? And we are into the main plaza. Oh, look at that. There's the Kronos spinning in front of the entrance sign for one final time. But yeah, I really wanted the security area to actually be quite separate from the main entrance archway, so I wanted it to sort of curve down a hill either side with this really nice lake and the little waterfalls as well with the Kronos in the back. And then of course our main, that's a post, with the main studio entrance archway overlooking it all. Yeah, I remember making this and just being so happy with how the studio-esque feel was coming along, because what I wanted to do with this park is have it so you were in a studio as you first walked in, but then walking through Studio 2, which we'll get onto, lots of twos in that sentence, I wanted there to be a portal in there that would then take you to these different worlds that I guess the studio beforehand is working on or filming or helping make, whatever, and I wanted that portal in there to be what takes you through to all of them. But we had the gift shop on the left over here. We've got like the realistic sort of maintenance back of house areas, and even those posters along the front of Studio 2, which is literally only called Studio 2 because it's basically a rip-off of the Disneyland Paris one that's called Studio 1. So much lore for you right there. So we're going to head into Studio 2. We've got the gift shop on our right again. Why not have as many gift shops as you can? Suck the money out of your guests. Nice little restaurant on the left, some toilets and everything, and guest services as well. A little tribute museum, which actually has something secret in there if you want to go and explore that for yourselves. And of course, the main epicenter of entering into the actual theme park itself, the Kronos. Totally not inspired like this entire park by Epic Universe. But yeah, the whole point was that this portal was going to take you in and the Kronos would charge up and it would make these worlds that are being filmed in the studios a reality that you can go and explore, which is why it made so much sense to make them all real life things. And as you can see, we've got these different statues right in front of us. You've got the Defqon logo, Pokemon over there, PlayStation, I was about to say just Gromit, Wallace and Gromit, and Formula 1. And of course, we're going to see it many times throughout this episode, but walking through the center area, you've got all these waterfalls again, and it's similar to that start bit before the entrance archways, and it acts as this nice little hub where you can then go to the 5 different worlds that are in the park, which I think it'd be wrong not to go in the order of how we built them, which is why we're starting with Formula 1. And like I've said, I really wanted to make these portals unique to themselves, where even though they're like the same shape and they've got that spinning logo, you can easily tell what's going to be in the world, and you can sort of know by the portal itself what rides might be in there and what sort of buildings you might see as well. So we're going to cross the start finish straight and head into the F1 area. And it is weird just coming back into here because of course this was the first area I made in this, and I think my building skills and just sort of making rides and everything like that has come so far since this area. But we've got Oversteer, the roller coaster, going right over our heads, and over here, if we come very close to the ride area, you can see the start finish straight for that roller coaster. Is that a staff member in the... What the hell is he doing? You can see where the pit lane is and everything. Yeah, I really tried to make this feel like a Formula 1 track, and I think I did a decent job, having made the Pirelli signs as well, and of course like the tyre walls. Yeah. It's such a throwback walking back through here because I actually haven't been through this area in so long. Over here is the F1 test track ride, which is probably one of my proudest things in this park. Honestly, I'm going to say it a lot, but I feel like the dark rides are the best thing in this park. Like, don't get me wrong, these coasters and everything, I was really happy with them, but I just think the dark rides were so unique and I could do whatever I wanted with them. And yeah, this is probably one of my favorite rides in this park. But even riding that, you can sort of see how far I've come since then with like the Pokemon dark ride and everything that's come since as we walk down. I am going to ride a ride in each area. I don't know what yet. I mean, this one's stuck. It's valid. And I think one of my favorite parts about this area though is the little bits like this that you can just sort of find out of nowhere and come up and just come and view the coaster as it goes past. Which hopefully, here we go, we might see some on-track action. There we go. Whoa. Blasting down the start-finish straight. Dueling. Oh. Yeah, this was so much fun to make. As we have Hot Lap over here. You know what? We might actually give this a ride. Purely because I actually didn't build this in an episode. I built this way later on. I was going to build a go-kart track, but I decided against it. Yeah, just a nice little Vekoma launch coaster. I mean, I literally just wanted to fit another ride in because I made these construction walls along this side, and there was that little gap between what is actually on our left, the building for the dark ride in the Wallace and Gromit land, and I had that little bit of space, and I felt like I can't just leave this blank, so I decided to make a little coaster. It's very laggy as we go around, but it's gonna be in this park. It's huge. If you want to see the full POVs for all the coasters and all the dark rides, I have put them in a separate video, but we will be riding certain ones you may not have seen, and also ones like this in the video today. We come around, yeah, the entire time you can just see the two tracks dueling. If I unpause it quickly, like so, just going above in the air. You know, like Formula 1 cars do, just drifting around in the air. Got the on-ride photos there. That's the thing too, is that this game went through so many updates during me making this entire park. So there's little stuff like that on-ride photo thing that would have been added afterwards. And as much as we can go down there to our next area, we are going to head back out to the main central hub and say goodbye to the Formula 1 area for the final time. As we head past a nice little kiosk that I made, thought it'd be really nice to have something like that in the central hub, just so you have another option to eat or drink. And we've made our way to probably the most popular area in this park that a lot of you guys say is the best area, the Wallace and Gromit themed land. Of course, around the entire portal, it's like a cog because of his inventions, very much plays a part in the entire area. You've got the motorbikes up there that you'll ride on. Welcome to the zoo, that is literally a reference to that ride. The museum up there, and just a house on the corner. So again, showing you exactly what to expect in here as we head through this portal into West Wallaby Street. Yeah, genuinely, again, haven't walked in here in ages. I genuinely think as a flowing portal from the central hub to here, this is probably the best one because it just feels like you've transported into some random town in England. And then of course you have Wallace and Gromit's house, which is where that main dark ride is, Trouble Off the Tracks. And honestly, it could be my favorite ride in the park. I told you, these dark rides are the best thing I've made. I think it's because it was my first proper go at a trackless dark ride, and I was just so proud of how it came out. And you know what, considering how much I love that ride, we'll go back and ride it in just a second. We keep going Up the street, I did miss the Top Bun van there. Nice little Easter egg. The Wensleydale pub. There's loads of little hints to things here. Wendeline's walls, of course, with that spinning in the window. A reference to Close Shave. Rocket Repair, a Snoozy Chock advert. And then over here, the nice little fairground area, which is sort of inspired from the Telltale Wallace and Gromit games, with the Bakelite flyers, Wendeline's wall wheel, and also the Pest Controller Coaster. What a name for that, by the way. A lot of these names for the rides have obviously been suggested by you guys, so a massive thank you to all of you for getting involved, and hopefully you guys can get involved for the next series as well. And other than that dark ride, the main thing of this area, the main focal point, is the town hall that has the Blue Diamond exhibition in, and that is of course the entrance to the roller coaster Wallace and Gromit Sidecar Scramble. Again, an amazing ride that I loved making so much. The amount of people that kept commenting on it saying, this is just Hagrid's but Wallace and Gromit. Yes, that was what I was going for. And honestly, I'm flattered that it came off that way, because I really enjoyed making it and sort of doing the audio for it as well. And just having that facade in front of us be the actual entrance to it just felt so perfect. And the fact you can't see it either over the trees or over the walls, it just makes it more secretive, and I love that. And down that way that this guy's walking in front of us, that is actually the entrance to the PlayStation Land, as that is the area that this area links up to, not just the Formula 1 land, but also the PlayStation 1. And I'm going to go for a ride on this dark ride, because I love it so much. And here we go then. I was going to sort of leave it in silence and just let you have the audio, but I've done that so many times now, and you can check out that video on the channel. As you can see, Feathers McGraw, huge there, shrinks down. The whole idea of this ride was to have the train, and you obviously sit in the carriage, but I wanted Feathers McGraw to be in the train, which he's not in the film, so I had to shrink him down using a sort of new plot point. And there you go, he's in the train riding along, and then he shoots the track switch, and off he goes. Yeah, it very much inspired from Mickey's Runaway Railway. And the tricky thing with this ride was coming up with different scenes where we could do different stuff, like going backwards and like spinning around and everything, like trackless rides do. So my first idea was to have it stop here and have the wrong trousers come out like they are, and they walk all across the floor, chase you out into the guttering of the house. And then also another unique section here is when you think, oh, the train's just gone off on another course. Nope, it's actually chasing after you. And it comes face to face with you right there as you head into the shower to have a wash. And then this was almost the finale section of the ride, where I wanted it to sort of pause on these two door sections with the track in front of you, and then you would actually see Gromit on the train, full size, going to chase him down. And then you head into the final few scenes, which, as much as that is, in my opinion, the main finale, this technically is the finale of the ride, because Feathers McGraw flies out the train, and they catch him. Better luck next time, Feathers McGraw. Anyway, it is time to say goodbye to the Wallace and Gromit land as we head back out into the main central hub. Goodbye, Wallace and Gromit. And this time I'm going to head all the way through this central, nice flowing pathway. Look at this. Straight through the middle of all the lakes. And obviously when I unpause it, you've got some of the fountains as well that are going off. Yeah, it's just really nice around here. As we make our way to the next portal, which a lot of you guys probably didn't really know of this IP existing. The very famous festival in the Netherlands, Defqon 1. I have visited this festival many a time, and I really wanted an area in this park that was pure thrill, like no family rides, just thrill rides left, right and center, with some sort of show element in the background, and this was perfect for that. And as much as I said the Wallace and Gromit land reveal is probably my favorite, I think I was wrong. That is just insane. And once again, I knew how big this stage was gonna be. It's like 200 feet tall, so I had to actually make sure that this area was dug down into the ground, hence why there's a ton of steps going down, or ramps on either side. You've got the coaster going up and all around the area. Of course, as well, we have some thrilling flat rides, such as the two drop towers. You've got Samurai over there, which is, where the hell is it? What? There it is, it's behind the bushes. The Mondale top scan, and even a huge gyro swing. But I think there's only one ride we could go on in this area, and it's gotta be the most thrilling fast-paced coaster in the park. So let's climb up this stage, which again, what a view that is. into the Defqoaster. And this ride starts indoors in like a dark ride section. I wanted to like build it up, but because of that massive stage, I couldn't have this bit outside because you would just be looking at the back end of this huge structure that had no scaffolding or anything like that, so it looked terrible. You eventually head back outside, and the reason I made, well, I was going to make a launch coaster anyway, but the reason I used this track type and this sort of ride in general was because of this swing launch mechanic, and I thought it'd be so cool to use it because it was a brand new feature in the game. So yeah, you launch forwards then backwards up that spike, which looks so cool on that skyline with the stage, because the stage is the main centerpiece, and then either side you've got the coaster which has the top hat and the spike, and it just worked so well symmetrically. I was actually going to try and make a swing launch work beforehand, because I planned this way before the actual DLC came out. I was going to try and make it work, but Planet Coaster did that for me. And fun fact, after that outer bank, it was actually supposed to go back behind the stage and basically finish off, but because of the speed, I actually had it go into another launch because it wasn't fast enough to do another lap round, but it was definitely too fast to go into a brake run. So doing that launch, it kicked it into this entire second half of the layout. And yeah, those little hills towards the end, really fun. That barrel roll over the top of the sort of entrance plaza, so cool. And into the brake run indoors. It came out perfectly with the sort of like pace of it and everything. I really did enjoy making that. Got a nice little shop, like a festival would, just under some random canopies. And yeah, you can head around all these little tiny alleyways underneath the coaster again. Yeah, I think this might be one of my favorite areas, but then again, they all are, so goodbye, DEFCON 1. We will see you for a lovely laser and fire show tonight. As we make our way around the left-hand side of the actual central hub, which I don't think we've been on yet, to an area that we started working on after the DEFCON area, but I actually didn't finish and went back to towards the end, the Pokemon themed land. And I don't think I've actually seen this reveal quite yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's quite cool with the Pokemon League in the background. I like that. And you've got the Poke Coaster there, the family spinning coaster, a nice Pokemon Center there as we walk through the entire area. And at the back is the most ambitious project that I've ever made in Planet Coaster. Pokemon Battle of the Elite 4, the massive dark ride based on Battle of the Ministry, the Harry Potter ride in Epic Universe, with that ride system that's like this sort of, I don't know, you sit in like a box and it's almost like a cinema, like a moving cinema. And in the queue, you're heading through Victory Road and you enter into the Elite 4 building on the ride, and you're greeted by all of them. You then fight all of them and their Pokemon and come face to face with Cynthia, the champion, who then tries to beat the living daylights out of you and fails because you win and are put into the Hall of Fame. Again, a personal favourite ride purely because of how big of a project it was. And I think the facade is quite nice as well because it sort of depicts what you have to do in the game, because you have to climb up a massive mountain to get to the Pokemon League. But it's nice as well because that dark ride isn't, again, thrilling or anything. So it's basically a family area with the family coaster and this, but also with the log flume. Yes, I've decided we're gonna go on this because everyone keeps asking me where the POV for it is. So the POV for it is here. And here we go on our trek up Mount Coronet, 6,500 feet above sea level. Doesn't look that tall from where the water is when you splash down, but oh well. And as you can see, off the top of that lift, just trundling along, getting sprayed with some water. Bit of a throwback to my Viking log flume in my previous park here. On the left, there's like a campfire as well, so just some nice little theming, not too Pokemon related, before we head down into our first drop and see our first Pokemon and get soaked. Whoa, stop spraying us! And this bit was inspired by Chiapas because it's like that sort of overlook of the park before you head further onto the ride. Although this ride does not have a disco cave, but it does have its own indoor section here. Oh, look at all the icicles hanging down. Whoa, they're all glowing. Oh, isn't it stunning? Just look at it all. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Whoa, Regice! Up another lift hill as we see more Pokemon. Oh, what's going to happen here? Oh, that is a very close poll. We actually have the ice-type Pokemon that do, when we are facing the wall, they put some snow on us and drift us towards this way. Then we get drifted once again backwards. We head for our next section of the ride. I believe there is a drop coming up. Spoiler alert. Yep, I was correct. One more Pokemon. Whoa! Whoa, you get soaked, especially with the rebound of the water off of the rockwork. And it was quite necessary as well to actually block off this side, because that actually goes off to the Ratchet and Clank coaster in the PlayStation area. As we see Regice again, and we turn around this way, getting drifted all the way up to the top of Mount Coronet. And here we go. Here's the moment you've been waiting for. Palkia, oh my god, breaking apart the temple. Whoa! Oh my god. Now that is a soaker. So yeah, that is the Pokemon area. Technically the last area we finished, but we started it way before. And again, there may be some Pokemon battling later on tonight. As we head round the final corner of the central hub, which has this restaurant in, which I know I've been saying a lot about the inside of buildings not being done because of piece count. This was before the piece count took over. And I quite like what I did in here. But we're going to walk towards the final land that we have to explore, which is split up into 4 different sublands, I guess. The PlayStation themed area. As you can see, once again, the portal shows you exactly what to expect. You've got Sackboy on the top left from Little Big Planet, Astrobot from Astrobot in the top right. And then because I didn't want all just characters, I had the TNT and the Nitro and the Wumpa Fruits from Crash Bandicoot. And then we've got the nanotech and normal crates from Ratchet and Clank. So we're going to head in, and I think this might be one of the longest portals going in to the area. And technically you're not in the PlayStation land yet, because as much as you can see the terrain around you and the fact there's a coaster running, or 2 coasters, and the buildings and terrain is very much inspired from those Ratchet and Clank worlds, over this bridge is actually the central point of the land, because this is the PlayStation logo, but as a pathway, very much inspired by the Jumanji one. And you can walk to each area from that, one of which being the Ratchet and Clank land with Ratchet and Clank dueling roller coasters and Omni Wrench on our right. Again, love how this came out. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank, massive sign there with both sides each on a 5-minute wait. And I think it'd be stupid not to try and ride one of them. And here we are on the sit-down roller coaster Clank, and of course that is on top of the inverted coaster Ratchet. Originally I actually had the colours and the names the other way around, and then someone pointed out, why on earth would Clank be the one holding Ratchet, if that makes sense, because Ratchet's the one that holds Clank half the time on his back, so it made the most sense to switch them around. A very smooth coaster this. I love a dueling coaster. I don't think there'll ever be a park where I don't make a dueling coaster, as it twists hanging upside down. So cool. And this is where you really start to see that dueling. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Whoa, very close there. And into the final few elements of the ride. Wow. Incredible. And we're going to head over to Crash Bandicoot. As you can see, the fencing will then stop and it'll go more into rocks. And then we'll see loads of crates, some scaffolding, some TNT, some Nitro. And we're into the land. Yes, look, Crash Bandicoot right here on a 15-minute wait. Oh, that's too long. I'm not waiting for that. In this massive temple, which I thought came out all right. I wouldn't say it's the best temple I've ever made. I think the one in my previous park on Jungle Rush was probably better, but then that was more jungly, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. But on that ride, you would head through various sections where you'd be flying on the ground, being chased by a boulder, and also going through water, river rapids, and you'd collect these little gems as well during your ride and head back into space to finish off. Yeah, it sounds really confusing, but if you want to go see that entire POV, then there's that video for that. Because in that video where I showcased all the POVs, I forgot about a roller coaster. And that coaster is sat right in front of me. A Vekoma Junior boomerang that I have named Aku Aku, and I just completely forgot that this was a thing. Hence why I'm going to ride it now for you. And here we go on the Crash Bandicoot boomerang coaster Aku Aku. We head up the lift backwards and drop down. Not a very tall lift, but that's because we have a lot of drops incoming. As you can see, we're going down already into the terrain. Twisting round. I think I'll show you the whole POV of this one because it's very quick and very short as we head up into... I think this lift hill might be even taller than the first one. Either way, we're dropping back down. Quick airtime hill there. This bit's going to feel very fast. Oh my god, that is intense. Twisting. Oh, only just making it? My god. That was risky. And heading back into the station as we take a left-hand turn that goes underneath where we've just ridden over to Little Big Planet, which was massively helped by the toy pack, because I don't think I would have made this if it weren't for that. And that's the main coaster in this area, the huge Little Big Planet ride. It's still got no supports. I know. In all honesty, I tried putting supports down, even down here as well. You can see a few supports, and it just looks so clustered. I'm not even going to bother. Even if it is less realistic, it's not a very realistic looking ride anyway, so I can get away with it for this one. As you've got Sackboy's Little Big Adventure. That's the name of the roller coaster over here. And I think that's another one we just have to ride, isn't it, really? Yeah, the Max Striker theme to Little Big Planet. Here we go. Up the vertical launch that goes beyond vertical at the top, as we hang there for so long and head into the layout. Yeah, probably the most unrealistic coaster of the entire project, but I don't care because it was so much fun. Look at that inversion. Oh, isn't it wonderful? And it was being able to make it go from like that terrain where it's like volcanic into the next segment of the ride where it's sort of another level of Little Big Planet. And I just really enjoyed making a very different coaster, even if it wouldn't realistically fit in a proper park. I just loved it so much. And we head down into the foresty area that is quite the long part compared to the rest of them. I mean, this bit has so many elements, it's breaking through to the previous level as well. As we go down, there was a few changes here and there on this layout down here, where I had to change some elements. But overall, it came out pretty nicely. You see the orbs on the floor. And then head outside in just a second. Over the airtime hills. I love a Max Striker. They're so much fun. And then back into the cardboard box, into the station. And that then leaves the final area within the PlayStation area, all the way down over here through what is more like a jungle, I guess, around here. A little bit longer of a walk down here, the Astrobot themed area, where I still need to tweak this bit slightly, but this right here is the pathway back to Wallace and Gromit. So again, they all link. But we've got two flat rides here, Dual Shock and Dual Sense over here. And right in front, the huge PS5 and the controller with the main entry for the Astrobot roller coaster. And as much as it's on a 20-minute wait, I can live with that. And this ride was really difficult to make because I hadn't actually played Astrobot, or I haven't really seen much of it before making this little land. So I had to do a lot of research, but I made a really nice story coaster in a similar style to Cosmic Rewind and Space Mountain combined. And yeah, really proud with how this one came out. Very disorientating. You can obviously see a little bit more in the actual game, but in the video it looks like it's just pitch black darkness and you're in the solar system. But this is another coaster where I actually had to modify the layout quite a lot when I was making it, because originally I wanted it to be a story coaster anyway, but some of the scenes, I remember this one stayed pretty much the same, but a lot of the scenes were very much changed. Like after that it went up into a proper huge launch and then did some other stuff, but I had to change it because it was just way too ridiculous, and it's just a family coaster and I didn't want it to be too long. So yeah, you launch upwards instead. Again, very similar to Cosmic Rewind, I can't lie. And using a lot of fireworks and explosions to act as if there's fighting going on. As you turn around for the final few scenes, as he's burning away his spaceship. And Astrobot's flying in the air. Back to his wonderful PlayStation spaceship that you see right at the end. Oh, look at it. So wholesome, am I right? And yeah, we've exited off that from the exit station. That has an onload and offload, and we're going to work our way up towards the outside, where if we head out... Oh, it's nighttime already. As we head out of the PlayStation Portal for the final time before the finale fireworks show and before opening this park. Now, usually I do end up opening the park to guests, but I just think it's going to be so laggy with this park. And we've managed to tour around the entire park today, so I don't think opening it would do much other than seeing some of the guests enjoying the roller coasters and dark rides. I think for the sake of the viewing experience and also just my computer, we will leave opening the park to guests for you guys to do that if you want to when you download the park. Obviously, I haven't uploaded it yet when I'm recording this, but I would assume when I have, it won't be available on console, and I don't think half the areas would be able to with the piece counts of them either, so I'm going to try and upload some of the coasters and rides separately if you guys want to have a ride on some of them for yourself. But yeah, here we are in the central hub Discovery Studios one last time, and I do just want to say a massive thank you for all of the support during this series. I know it's not your typical Planet Coaster series because it's something completely different, where instead of building those original themes, it's going and building those real life IPs and making them into a theme park area. And I know not all of these IPs you guys might like or know, but genuinely this has been such a big passion project of mine, and it's really nice to see it finally come to a close, as I have been very excited about planning what's next. So once again, a massive thank you for watching this series. I do really appreciate it. Make sure you stay tuned to the end to see a little teaser of what's coming next, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's next with Planet Coaster 2. But for now, I will leave you with the finale show with fireworks, lasers, fire and drones for you guys to enjoy. So thank you once again for watching, and goodbye to Discovery Studios.
Okay, good to have you on board. Our system checks are A-OK, so we can get underway whenever you like.
What's happening? Catch me, Gromit! Hold mine to the table, Gromit! Gotcha! Huh? All yours, Gromit!
little big man, you become your true and pure self.